Oh, okay. I'm up here in my office because I've got to do something while I'm up here. We got our new chair over the weekend, but we haven't had time to put it together just yet. But I want to take a couple minutes here. Well, it'll be more than a couple minutes, but I want to take a little bit of time here to discuss something with you. Maybe this might help somebody if you're having the same issue like I'm having, that I've shared on Facebook, and I've shared it in my vlogs since about this time last year. And I'm always talking about my feet hurt. My feet hurt. Well, my feet hurt from being on my feet all day. And I've just always been on my feet constantly. I've mentioned also, you know, I started exercising when I was 15, where I was like an exercise guru, you know, aerobics, you know, they start coming out with aerobics about that time, and I did aerobics, I would run, I did bike riding, where I would just, you know, I could go out running for like an hour, I could go bike ride for like an hour, you know, that sort of thing, plus still do my aerobics. And I exercised like a freak all through my teen years, my 20s, my 30s, up into about mid-40s, about 44, 45, right in there. I stopped. And the reason why is because I started noticing I was having problems with some of my joints, like my knees. My knees hurt. My knees, they crick. Is that the sound? You know, that, you know, that where it makes that, like, you know, clicking sound. My ankles, I have found even my ankles seem to be weaker than they have ever been. And it's wear and tear. Plus, I had an x-ray done on my back when I was 46. And my doctor told me then, he said, "You're how old?" And I said, "I'm 46. He says, "Well, you have the back of a 60-year-old woman." And he says, "Sandy, I don't know what you've been doing all of your life, but you've done a lot of wear and tear on your back." And I said, "Well, what do you mean that I have a back of a 60-year-old woman?" He says, "You have 2 discs that have already started to degenerate." And he says, "That should not be happening for somebody that's your age." And I can see why. I can see why my ankles are weaker, why my knees are the way that they are, because I spent a lot of years running and pounding the pavement. You know, that will catch up with you when you get older. Plus, it's not just that. It's just all the other exercise that I've done. I've done a lot of aerobics, and it's bouncing up and down and all of that kind of thing. And I was so bad with exercising. I used to exercise, seriously, like 2 to 2.5 hours a day. And sometimes 7 days a week. I was just crazy with it. So, anyway, I'm having problems with my feet now. And I keep, you know, talking about my feet hurt, my feet hurt. And on my right foot here, the problem that I'm having with that one is I have plantar fasciitis, and it has something to do with the underlying ligament that's, you know, underneath your foot. But I find if I do stretches with my feet, you know, there's foot stretches you can do, I don't have a problem with it. And quite honestly, last year, this was the foot that was causing me all the problem. And when I was diagnosed with a plantar fasciitis, and I was, you know, told about the stretches and so forth, and I do them, I really don't have a problem with that anymore because I constantly do my foot stretches. But now I'm having problems with this foot, and it's the left side of the foot. When I went to the doctor a few weeks ago, the doctor had me go for an x-ray. Nothing showed up that was broken, so that's not an issue. I don't have, you can still have like a hairline fracture, and those don't even show up sometimes with x-rays, but she thinks it's a ligament issue. Perhaps I tore a ligament or something in my foot. It was swollen. There was, bruising over on the side. And you touch, well, there was a whole area on my foot that if you just touched it, I was like about ready to jump through the ceiling because it would hurt that bad. Now it's just one certain area and I can push on it and it still hurts. And she told me about 3 weeks ago when I went to see her, she goes, in about 3 weeks, if it's still giving you a problem, I'll send you to an orthopedic doctor. So I don't know. I'm going to wait and see how it goes, if it heals up a little bit. Anyway, the problem is for your feet to heal, you got to be off of your feet. But I'm the kind of person, I'm constantly on my feet all the time. I've always been this way, especially, well, as a teenager, you get up early, you go to school. And I used to have to walk to school. And then, you're walking, through your classes. And then you're walking home from school. And then when I get home from school, do my chores. And then I would exercise. I'd go out for a run, that sort of thing. Then you come home and then it's time for bed. But then you get up and you do it all over again. Then when I was 20 is when I got married. I had Joe when I was 21. And, you're just constantly on your feet all night with the baby. You're getting up early in the morning, beginning your day, and you're just constantly, moving. The more kids you have, you're running around. I started working when I lived in Chicago. I did advertisement. I've mentioned that so many times, but I did a lot of walking, and I did a lot of walking in high heel shoes, like all day walking in high heel shoes. And I started thinking, well, maybe, that's why I'm starting to have all these problems with my feet. But I don't know. As far as the plantar fasciitis, why that is, it just is. Whatever's going on with this left foot, I don't know. I'm waiting about seeing a doctor on that. The other thing is, when I say that my feet hurt, and especially like my toes, I have neuropathy. And if you don't know what that is, it's a lot of diabetics get that. If you ever watched Steel Magnolias, when, Shelby, the Julia Roberts character, and, she wants to continue working even after she's married, and her mom, saying, no, you shouldn't be on your feet all day. You should be kinder to your circulatory system. Well, it was because, Shelby's character was a diabetic. And, diabetics, they do need to, not be on their feet all day because of circulatory problems. So, anyhow, I'm not a diabetic. I'm not a diabetic. My mother is not a diabetic. And my mother has a problem with this too. And, hang on a second, I got girlies that want cookies. My mom's younger sister, she also has this problem. She started having problems in her 30s. My mom started having problems in her 60s. My mom's in her early 70s now. I'm 50, and I started having problems with this, I want to say about 1.5 years ago, I started noticing the problem. And my mom and her sister get it from my grandfather's side of the family. My grandfather had it. I remember as a little kid, and he was always talking about his feet and how they hurt, and they started doing these things with electrodes. They were, trying to stimulate the nerves. I don't think they do that anymore, but because it doesn't work. But my grandfather's brother also had this problem, and he had it actually worse than my grandfather. He was just in so much pain with his feet. And he even put one of his sons through medical school to become a foot doctor so he could do research on the feet and everything. And neuropathy, what it is, it's your nerves start dying off in your feet. And like I say, diabetics get that because of diabetes, and especially people that are diabetics and they don't, you know, stick to their diet very well. Diabetics also can, you know, get heart disease too. But this neuropathy for people that are non-diabetics, why we get it, we don't know. And it's a hereditary thing. So what happens is my toes, not every day. I'll go for like a week, and this week is the week that my feet are really bothering me. And then I'll get off of my feet. See, and there's the key. Get off of your feet. Be kinder to your circulatory system. If I get off my feet and I'm not on my feet all day long, or I get up and I do things that need to be done, but then sit. And I mean sit for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I have to just sit. That's why I keep my laptop downstairs, to, you know, constantly doing things on my laptop. But anyway, then if I get up and then continue, you know, doing other chores that need to be done, that's okay. And I notice that I don't have any problems. My feet just feel normal. But when I'm constantly on my feet for days, a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, where I'm not really resting, then I start having problems with my feet. And for about a week, week and a half now, because, you know, there's lots to do. You know, it's the change of the seasons and so forth, and just being on my feet, that my feet are starting to bother me again. And yeah, they do feel like numb, like your toes feel real numb, like, you know, they're falling asleep. But I have to keep socks on my feet all the time, and I keep my little handy dandy slippers handy, and I'm going to tell you why. Because, well, in the winter, even though you've got the heat on in your house, you know, it's winter, and, you know, sometimes there could be a little coolness in the air of your house, and my toes will start feeling, you know, like when you've been outside, like say to shovel snow or something, and you just go out maybe with your tennis shoes or something, because just, you know, you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to be outside very long. And then when you come in and your feet, you know, because they're so cold, they hurt because of the cold. That's what they feel like. That's what my toes feel like. So there's like the numbness, but then there's that feeling of they're just like really cold. So if I put socks on my feet, that usually is okay. Sometimes even having socks on my feet, they'll still be cold, and I need to warm them up a little bit more. That's when I put my little slippers on, and I'm running around with my socks and my slippers. And even in the summertime, I'll have shorts on, I'll have a tank top on, and there I am. I look, you know, ridiculous with socks and my slippers. But not every day, all day long. But, you know, just when I'm starting to have that problem, that I have to do that. And what else did I want to tell you about it? So yeah, then, you know, then your feet sometimes will feel a little bit numb too, not just your toes, but it usually starts just with the toes and goes into the feet. And the more that I'm on my feet, I sense the problem getting worse, and so I have to sit down and I have to get off of my feet. Anyway, I don't know. I take vitamins. I've been taking vitamins, and, you know, I try to eat as healthy as I can. I just had my blood work done. The only thing that was high, my bad cholesterol was a little bit high where it shouldn't be, but it's not bad where I have to be put on Lipitor or anything like that. It's something that we can be controlled with the diet. But I mean, other than that, that was really like the only thing that was wrong with me. I'm very healthy. Even my sugar levels are okay. So it's just a hereditary thing. Like I said, my mom has this issue, my aunt has it, my grandfather, their dad, and his brother has this problem. I don't know if either one of my brothers have it, but anyway, I thought I would just share this in a vlog instead of trying to explain this, you know, on Facebook, typing it out. As you can see, there's a lot to explain. And so anyway, I usually can a lot in the summertime. Anybody that watch my blogs, my friend on Facebook, you know about all my canning and dehydrating and everything that I do. And I decided this year I was not going to can a lot like I normally do. Usually when things start coming in from the garden or at the, farm stands, the end of June all the way up until like mid-September, I'm constantly canning things, So I'm not going to do that this year because it's being on my feet all day long. And I noticed too, during the summer, that's also when I'll have a lot of problems with my feet, and I start complaining about my feet and my feet hurt. And it's because you stand there, you have to clean the veggies, you have to clean the fruit, you have to prepare it, you have to get it, into the jars and into the canner and off of the stove and let it cool down, and you're getting your next batch ready, and you can stand there for literally hours just standing there in your kitchen. And standing in one place, I think, is actually worse than running around all day long, because when you're standing in one place, you're standing and you're not moving. It'd be different if you were sitting and not moving versus standing and not moving, because you're putting all that weight on your feet and everything. So anyway, that's my feet problem. So there is that medicine, what is it called, Lycaria or something? I see it all the time on TV. You probably have seen it too. And it's a new drug, and I don't trust new drugs when they come out, and they have all these warnings and everything. And my doctor was saying that, she brought it up. She goes, well, there is Lycaria, so that is an option, but let's not discuss that right now. That's how she said it to me. And she had like raised eyebrows, like, concern. And if you hear all the things, like, I think they have suicidal thoughts and all that as part of the side effects from it and everything. So anyway, if I just stay off my feet, here and there throughout the day and be kinder to myself, I'm fine. I really am. It's just the days that I'm just constantly running around. And unfortunately, you get those days that are like that. That you just have to do it, and it is what it is. So one other thing on neuropathy for people that are non-diabetics, you can go to a neurologist. For something like this, you don't see the ortho doctor, you have to see a neurologist, because it has everything to do with your nerves, it has everything to do with your circulatory system, and all of that is connected to the brain. And you have to see a neurologist. My mom saw a neurologist a few months ago because her feet have, she said that it's starting to get worse for her. So she went ahead and pursued, the follow-up with the neurologist. There's 3 things that they test for. They test for your iron, they test for B12, and there's one other thing my mom said that they test for, and she forgot what it was. But all her levels for those 3 things, they came back normal. So, in other words, some people that are non-diabetic neuropathy, patients, it could be that, maybe their iron level is off, maybe their B12 is off, and this other thing, that could be off. That if they, you go for your B12 shots, if that's what the problem is, or if it's iron, they get your iron level back up, that can, help the problem to go away or not be as bad. But my mom's levels, like I said, they were fine. My grandfather and my great uncle, they couldn't do nothing for them either. My aunt, nothing they can do for her. I have a feeling that if I pursue the neurologist, they're probably not going to find anything for me that would be able to, help me. If anything that they would find, it would be probably my iron level is off. But even if they brought my iron level up, what I'm wondering to myself, is that going to make a difference? If this is a hereditary thing, I don't see where it would be beneficial for me to pursue the neurologist to have those levels checked. My mom keeps telling me to do it. I don't know. I might do it, but like I said, if anything would be off, more than likely with me, it would be my iron, because I have always been anemic since I was a child. I've always been anemic. If you guys remember back in 2012 when I was canning and I was slicing veggies on my slicer, and I really cut my thumb really bad, I had to go to the emergency room. It took them about 2.5 hours, applying pressure, doing all kinds of things to try to get the bleeding to stop. And the emergency room doctor asked me, goes, "Are you on, cholesterol medication?" I said, "No." "Do you take an aspirin every day? Because aspirin will thin your blood." I said, "No." He says, "You're on any medication that would thin your blood?" I said, "No, but I've always had low iron. I'm anemic." He goes, "Well, that's what the problem is. That's why we're having a hard time getting this to stop bleeding." I've always just been anemic. I've tried taking iron, forget it. You know, the only thing that iron does for me, it turns my poo like black, and it's like tar, and to me it causes a little bit of constipation where it's hard to go to the bathroom and everything, because you take iron, that's what that does for you. So anyway, I stopped taking iron. So I don't take the iron tabs, but like I said, that would probably show up that I have low iron if I go to see a neurologist. But like I said, even if they try to, make me take iron, which I don't want to do because I already know what it does for me with my, bowels and everything. Even if I got my iron levels up to where they should be, if that's what the problem would be, would I still have a problem with the neuropathy? I believe that I probably would, because it's a hereditary thing. So that's why, to me, why pursue, seeing the neurologist? For me, I would think that it would be pointless. I don't know. I have to think about it. But I wanted to share this part of it too for anybody that, they're having maybe some of these problems in their feet, and you are non-diabetic and have neuropathy symptoms, that, there are 3 different things that they can test for to see if your levels are off. And if they are, they can bring them up to where they need to be, and then they might be fine, after that, But like I said, for me, I don't think, I think this is just something I've just got to deal with, for the rest of my life. So anyway, I will not bore you anymore with my feet, but anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys.